Okay, also, like, God, I feel really, not scummy, but, like, I don't want to be this guy, but I did make a post about this on StarCraft Reddit. I don't know if there's a rule about upvoting posts. I think there is a rule and you're not supposed to ask people, but if you have a Reddit account and you feel like just helping me out a little bit, you can upvote this post. Maybe it can get to some more eyes then. If not, it's not a big deal. Don't worry about it if you don't have a Reddit account, but if you do, it can help me out a little. Also, good night doing it, Jiggy. I want you to sleep nice and tight. So hopefully you have a good night. Eat some hot dogs or whatever you do. Maybe have some hot cocoa before you go to bed. That's what I like to do. Make sure you brush your teeth though. Oh my god, the Reaper snuck into my base. No, it's gonna kill that SCV. Okay, so he went for a Reaper. So I automatically get to say I'm not worried about Banshees because he went for a Reaper. This isn't a Gas Force Reaper. This is just a normal Reaper, and what that tells me is there will be no Banshees. So I don't need to make a Viking first. So instead of making a Viking like I normally would have to do, I can go straight for a medevac and do a pressure. Okay, he has 2 Reapers now. Huh, maybe this is a Gas Force Reaper. Maybe this guy is a Smurf himself. Where's my I love you, Kamker? Doing it, Jiggy. Okay, so my opponent spawned right there, so as soon as I have some units, I'm going to go do a pressure. Whoops. I'm being very careless about this Reaper, really. Oh, and then it escaped again. So his Reapers really shouldn't have got kills. I'm not the greatest at talking and doing things at the same time. But moral of the story is the adjustment we made is we saw that it's a Reaper. Reaper means no Banshee. Oh, maybe I need to take this back. Maybe he went Gas Force Reaper. I'm going to build a Viking. But if somebody's going for just like a 12 Rax Reaper, so just like a normal Reaper expand, you don't have to worry about Banshee. So if you're doing a build like this, go for a medevac and then do a Hellion / Marine drop. Instead of going for a Viking. Oh no, this dude's doing some weird stuff. This game's gonna be real weird from him. I don't need it, eBay. I'm gonna attack the front. He has a tank already. Which is fine because I'm on 2 bases. And he's building his base right now. To be fair, I was the very first pro Korean I beat was with Zerg, and I was a very like hardcore serious Zerg player. Like loved Zerg, but then I switched to Terran because MKP and MVP were just way too badass to not switch. So based on seeing the factories, the 2 things that I can deduce are 1, he's going for a retarded amount of siege tanks, or 2, he's going to be going for Blue Flame. Kind of hard to tell which because this isn't a standard thing to do, but it's just knowing what's possible and making decisions based off that. So if he's going for a lot of tanks, I'm going to want either my own tanks or Banshees to deal with that, and I'm choosing the route of going with Banshees. Because it could also be Blue Flame Hellions, and if it's Blue Flame Hellions, me having Banshees will help a lot. So this guy's just kind of doing a little bit of everything. So I killed like a lot of SCVs already. Gonna follow up with a Marine drop. Gonna make 1 of my own Vikings now because he has a Banshee that was going around. But I should be able to get turrets up just in time because it looks like he's probably going up pretty far away. So other than that, just gonna keep producing non-stop, obviously. So we gotta pay attention. The Banshee hasn't flown into our base yet. There's the Banshee now, so gonna send the Viking over to it. So we killed his Banshee. We didn't kill his Banshee, he pulled it back. You want to double check to see if you got the kill or not, because you want to know if there's still a Banshee threat or if the Banshee threat is over. But we pretty much have this game won. I mean, we're on like a whole lot of bases and, you know, fully saturated, blah blah blah. Playing Terran, I think it's wrong to play Terran and strictly be defensive in any matchup, because Terran wasn't really built for that. And the way Terran production works is you always have to be producing units. So you should always be doing something with those units, sort of. Because Terran, like Zerg is good to play defensive because as stuff pushes on to creep, you can make a bunch of units and crush it. Protoss is good to play defensive because you have cannons, some mothership core, you can warp units in, which is a very good defensive ability. So they are able to play defensive, but Terran, you always have to be producing units, which means sometimes you'll be producing units that you don't need to defend, and that's when you use them to attack. So Terran is almost inherently, in the way that it's played, a race that will have to be doing like different timings and attacks. And even if you want to do like a defensive mech style, it still involves being aggressive and using your units to do things. Because if I'm just making a bunch of units the whole game and my opponent just makes units right before I attack so that he can hold off my attack, I'm going to be way behind because he was squeezing in economy and tech, whereas I just have to keep making units because I have barracks. That's why I don't like a Villa type playstyles. Is because like it mostly works because he just plays noobs. What up, spooky one? Oh no, don't worry, mate. I'm gonna be on yours. I have your chat message open still. Have it open up in here. Oh wait, you didn't even link it to me. You should message it to me in a PM, and then I'll definitely get on it when I'm done. Okay, what race was this guy? We got a Zerg, so I'm gonna go for an 11 gas Reaper. Really great build, very safe, while at the same time allowing you to put on a lot of pressure. So we're gonna get 11 barracks and an 11 gas, so both at the same time. This build we make a total of 3 Reapers, and then we go for 3 command centers off of it. And so the Reapers do a lot of scouting and harassment, and then obviously we can come back at home and have our 3 command centers and make good decisions about what we want to do back at home based on what we see with our 3 Reapers. Because if you make 3 Reapers, you're basically guaranteed to see everything that they're gonna do. My estimated time is gonna be for streaming StarCraft commentary is gonna be 7 to like 9 to 10 every single day, so at least 2 or 3 hours every single day. I'll also just be, like, later today, Ref and I are going to be playing Archon mode, and I start streaming usually around 2 in the afternoon, but for strictly streaming StarCraft 2 with commentary, like this Bronze to Master type thing, that's going to be taking place every day starting at 7 for 2 to 3 hours. Get a second depot with this build before Command Center. We're going to get 2 Reapers before we put our expansion down. Our expansion goes down on 19 supply. Just scouting us, all normal stuff. No, I'm not boosting people. I am on a friend who doesn't play StarCraft anymore's account right now. So now that we got our expansion down, more SCVs and another Reaper, gotta get ready to build our factory. We have to build the factory while we're harassing. God, my target fire was kind of bad right here. So getting a lot of harassment work done. Don't want to get hit right now, so he's lost a lot of SCVs. We put our second command center down on 24 supply. We want to make sure the whole time we're harassing that we're still, you know, building units and doing our build order. So I gotta be paying attention right now that pretty soon I have to be building my command center right there. Oops, one of my Reapers died. Not ideal. So he expanded there first, which means he's going to be taking that as his third, which means he most likely has a macro build in store. And he just wants to get this extra creep spread out. So after my factory, going to put down a starport. After the starport, going to put down the a second gas. I'm going to just get as many drone kills as I can right now. See if I can... Okay, so... Use my barracks and the depot to wall off so that he doesn't run in here with a bunch of speed things. And I'm just going to go into mech with a pretty good lead and knowledge of what my opponent's doing. That's true too, that's very, very true. He could also be doing some type of roach play and he just wants a faster reinforcement, but it's very minimal on this map because the map is so far away. Oh wow, there was a little gap. Oh no! Oh no! Wow, and he's just making non-stop wings. I will actually lose to this too. I need to leave my heli in there to plug that hole up. That was not what I wanted to happen, but oh well. Also playing kind of slow right now, I'm like kind of foggy. Well, that wasn't ideal, but not too bad. He threw away a lot of lings on that. I really only lost 2 Hellions and just a couple of CVs. No, it's not even close to over. Until I get to like high masters, I really shouldn't lose any games, like no matter how much I lose, really. So we got our guys back in gas, so now I guess this is kind of good because a lot of people can get thrown off in games. When we get thrown off like this, oh, he's failing busting really hard. So there's lots of ways to get thrown off in a game, but it's always important to think about your position in comparison to my opponent's position. So my opponent just spent a whole lot of gas trying to kill me, so that's telling me that he probably doesn't have a lair, and that doing something like a Hellbat attack would probably be really good, because he shouldn't have like really fast mutas. And also he'll have to now commit even more gas just to defending his own base, which is not something he wants to do. So based off knowing that, I'm going to drop my armory. I'm going to re-wall off here. He may still be trying to kill me, so I'm not going to push out quite yet because I want to know. I'll go out front with my Banshee. I'm going to try to get unsupply blocked because he, yep, so he may just try to kill me again. But if not, he's just got a bunch of garbage units right now, basically. And I can safely say that I know it's a good idea to go for my Hellbat attack. I'm not going to get any tanks, and the reason being is my Hellions will deal with lings on the ground, and the only other thing that could possibly happen is roaches, and Banshees will be able to deal with roaches. Now, when you defend an attack from Zerg, if possible, you don't want to commit to like slow defensive things like siege tanks, because then you have no timing basically to do damage back to your opponent. But if you open up fast harassment units like Hellions and Banshees, now when I feel like it's time, I can go and say, okay, I'm going to go put some pressure onto you, which is what I'm going to do right now. Whoops. Whoops. I did not need to lose that stuff. I'm kind of being a noob today. So he's going for Hydralisks, and I'm just gonna kill him. Okay. Yeah, so that's something that's really, really important with the Zerg, because a lot of times what I see lower level Terrans do is they're able to hold off the push from like a Protoss. Oh, yo, what up, Juggernaut Jason? They're able to hold up. Oh, you hosted me. Nice, thank you. They're able to hold off the push from either a Zerg player or a Protoss player, but what ends up happening is they hold off the push and they're overly defensive, and so then their opponent just makes a lot of economy, and then they end up getting behind and losing the game anyways. But if you hold off the attack with units you can immediately re-attack with, now all of a sudden your opponent who just invested into attack that didn't work, now he can't go straight into droning and making more units. He has to go into making more units that he can use to defend, otherwise he'll die, which puts him in like an extra crappy position basically. And that's like the preferable way that you want to be doing things, because that will give you the most success. Something to keep in mind with StarCraft always is like, what's the most clear-cut way that I have to win right now? Like sure, if my opponent makes a mistake and I do a lot of damage on a mistake, I could go, okay, I'll get more ahead and do this. But through getting ahead, that also lets him get back into the game and do things too. If I do a lot of damage to my opponent and go, okay, when my 4 medevacs come out, I'm going to hit him with this giant retarded timing that I put everything into, and there's going to be no way that he can hold it, then you're just boom, ending the game basically when you have to. It's almost like if you're in a fight. If you're in a fight, the longer a fight goes on, even if you're a more skilled fighter than your opponent, the more chances he has to do something cheeky to you, or to maybe like pull one over on you, or to maybe just somehow just get lucky and get an advantage. But if you see that, you know, if you punch your opponent in the stomach and he bends down, you just bash him in the face, right? That's kind of what you want to do in StarCraft. Okay, so playing a Protoss. Ooh, this map, there's a really good build Protoss can do where they rush over with a mothership core. I'm gonna do a pretty cheeky build right here. Where do I want to proxy? I'm gonna do a gas first build because I can get to his base. If I build my factory here, float it onto the low ground, and then rally a Widow Mine across the map, I can get a Widow Mine into his base like really quickly. So I'm just gonna try and kind of take advantage of the map with something like that. This is a really good build. This is a build that I learned from a Korean friend. He's like lives in Korea. He's Korean. He's Korean Grandmaster with like a huge win rate he has in TVT and TVP, and this is one of his really good builds. I believe he finished last season like top 100, like around rank 70 or so on KR. And I'm just going to be tweaking it a little for the map, going to be floating the factory onto the low ground, then rallying the Widow Mines into his base. So it was a 12 gas first, 12 gas, 13 barracks. Which means we get the orbital on 16. This is a different build. This build is an expand build. Like, we straight up expand with this build. It's just really strong timings. But I'll be expanding like as soon as I possibly can with it. I expand at 31 supply. I'm gonna make 4 Marines out of the barracks. You're gonna see, this is gonna be a little hard to explain. It's something you're gonna have to see me do first. But we're gonna do like kind of a pressure with very few units, like just 1 Widow Mine and then 4 Marines in a Widow Mine. And we're mostly going to be, what we're going to do is try to force units out of him and also force him to spend an overcharge. while we're macroing super well back at home, and that's going to allow us to just like completely come in with an army that will steamroll him. Because something a GM player on the team, what's his name, Creature, plays against this build a lot, and something that like stuck with me about it is he said, I held off every pressure without taking any damage, but then I just didn't have enough units. And if you have a build that puts your opponent in a position like that, like you know that you have a very, very good build. Whoops, that was bad. And that's exactly the types of builds that people should want to be learning, is a build where even if your opponent defends everything right and doesn't take any damage, that when your big macroed army comes up, that they just don't have enough units to deal with it. So I got my 4 Marines, going to be pausing Marine production, going to build 1 Widow Mine. The first Widow Mine rallies straight to his base. The second one is going to stay at my base, and I'm going to use them to drop. Yo, what up again, mate? What up, Balkaz? Hopefully I'm saying your name right. I remember you from the other day. Okay, going to build my second Widow Mine in the main. So we're going to burrow this at the natural. And then I should be expanding at 31. I just slightly butchered this build a little. There was a slight butchering of the build. I'm gonna get a supply depot down, another SCV, gonna get my reactor when I can, and then I will be adding 2 barracks, and then my second gas. So he has no units of the natural yet. That's pretty strange, actually. I'm gonna be putting my 2 barracks down at 35. It should be 35, I'm just off a little bit. And then once my Widow Mine comes, so now there's going to be a drop in the main, and there's going to be units of the natural, so it's going to cause him to have to split up his forces, so he can't just defend with an overcharge. He has to defend with units and an overcharge, or just ignore one of his bases. And then back at home, I'm just still making Marines and Medevacs and Widow Mines still. So we got the pull. So I'll burrow the Widow Mine, load up in the Medevac, and then go back around to his other base. So look how much time we're wasting, even though we haven't killed like 20 probes. Look how much time we've wasted just from having these drops. He's wasted an incredible amount of mining time. Not losing the medevacs is very, very important, because basically all the harass we do is going to come back to just killing him at the very end when we group up. So we're going to do some harassment here, some harassment there, back and forth, and then we're going to group everything up and go for the kill right before, right after he doesn't have any more photon overcharges, which he didn't use yet. So I can still sit here and try to kind of force it out of him. So there, we forced one, and that's literally all I wanted to do. That was perfect. I didn't need to do any damage there. All I needed to do was force the photon overcharge. Back at home, getting Stim and Marauders, and then shortly I will also be getting my combat shields. And then I'm just gonna, no more Widow Mines, just gonna make Marauder, Marine, and Medevacs non-stop along with SCVs. Wow, I have a lot of SCVs queued up. Okay, gonna put this one around, so we're gonna try to multitask him again so that in a minute when he has another photon overcharge, we can waste his very last photon. And if we waste that very last photon overcharge, we're gonna just have a free win. So he doesn't have it yet, so I'm gonna wait just a little bit longer until he will have it, which should be roughly like 15 seconds, and then he should have one. Then I can take a third off this. And still be building units, which I'll start rallying outside his base, so that as soon as our upgrades are done, we can go in for an attack. So running in here, running in here. He's not using the overcharge, but he had to pull at the natural. Okay, boom, perfect. We got the overcharge. So even though... Oh, and we're going to save the medevac too. So that's perfect. So now we're going to group everything up at the front. Going to literally just all army hotkey it. I can throw down the rest of my production structures at home, but I can pretty much just A-move him here. And like half of my army wasn't even here for this fight. Can you do a TVP SCV pull and explain the basic timings? I could, but in my honest opinion, I haven't done a build order like that in a long, long time because I think there's much better builds right now that give you a much higher chance of winning. But I could do that too. I could just go over a lot of TVP stuff. I feel almost like a TVP specialist. I have a really on my accounts on NA and EU that are in GM. I have pretty good win rate in TVP, and I play like Bales and Hitman, who are like really, really good at TVP. Where am I? Ladder statistics. Only 54% on that account. Okay, Forever Bisu. I don't know who this is. This could be a Smurf, so I'm just gonna do the same exact build, and we'll see if anything else arises. Yeah, Hitman did make Premier. Good for him, I guess, because he's got a real pain in the butt style to deal with. I don't think Mech will take over because Blizzard wants Terrans to have the option. So even if maybe Bio's not so great right now, Bio will be good. Basically, they'll make tweaks to it to make it good, even if it ends up not being good. So maybe this guy's stream sniping. Maybe this is somebody else. What does Hitman look like? I threatened to beat Hitman up like on several occasions. It would be nice to know what he looks like. So I'm going to go for entirely the same build, and like I said, if anything else comes up, we can go over what the correct responses are for it. So I'm going to be taking my gas first, 12 gas. This one. Yeah, it's not that Hitman's macro is bad, it's just what Hitman's known for is being like a cheeser, pretty much. But he still macro games, like, a lot. Like, the majority of games I play versus him are macro. I think the way Hitman does it is, like, there's certain people, like, he knows that he can just beat with the cheese every time, so he does that to them. But then, like, other players who will hold off the cheeses, he, like, he does macro games versus. Because Hitman used to always cheese me, but then I started, like, stopping his cheeses, and that's when, like, all of a sudden every single game we played would be a macro game. Rarely. I mean, he'd occasionally mix in, you know, the proxy Oracle into the Blink Stalkers, but it was mostly a macro player. I'm going to be going up all the way up to 16 SCVs. I'm going to try to do this build order perfect this time. Part of the benefit of smurfing is you don't have to do stuff perfect, and you can still explain it really well, but I'm going to try to do this one perfect. So people who do this are usually bad. This is like a symbol that, this is like a sign that my opponent is going to be bad. So I'm already liking my odds this game because my opponent was trying to kill a worker with his probe. Also, he scouted really early, which is entirely unnecessary in TVP. He does know my build order though, so in this one particular circumstance, it was a debatably worthwhile thing for him to do. But against any standard builds, there's no point, because all you're going to do is you get into your opponent's base as a Protoss and you go, oh, he's Reaper expanding, and then a Reaper pops out and kills your probe. And you don't know if they're going 1-1-1, you don't know if they're going for 3 racks, you don't know if they're going for a very quick third. So already have the factory rallied across the map, because that's where the first one of mine's going. Thank you very much for that follow. I'm going to drop the starport as soon as this is done. Oops. Can get another depot right now, and then we just need one more marine, and we are set on mariners, keeping them down here so that a unit doesn't get into the main. And then we rally the guy who built the starport onto the low ground to build the command center. Lots of timings in StarCraft are just things you have to remember relatively, like in relation to each other. 31 supply is when the command center goes down exactly though. Try if you can to pull your mules away right before they're done mining so that they don't waste a trip. Anybody knows what I'm talking about, maybe you could explain it in chat if anybody Getting familiar with that. And make our add-ons, get another SCV, make a depot. Gonna burrow this. Whoops, why was that going back home? I need you, come on. So, it's out here with a stalker, which means he has no units at home besides his mothership core, which means his natural base is going to be completely locked off. Now, the one weakness of this build is Oracle, but even then it's possible to defend and still win. It's just kind of a pain in the butt. And based off what I see so far, I'm feeling like there's a high chance it could be an Oracle. So I'm going to make my Widow Mine before my second medevac, and I'm going to rally it into my main. Yep, that's a really late robo. Could also be DT, so I'm gonna get a turret. So I'll have to have one. He's really not mining like he wants to be. I can also drop down here and maybe kill these stalkers. So I can use my Widow Mine as sort of like a balance ground where I can like hide behind it. Balance ground. I think I just made that up. Basically I'm just hiding behind my Widow Mine so I can kill this pylon. So now I'm rallying onto the low ground. Gonna build one turret at the front because I am scared it could possibly be TTs. Did a very strange opening. He may walk through that mine. Wow, we've got a lot of damage done. So I'm going to be a little bit poorer than I want to be, which means my upgrades are going to be a little bit late because I had to squeeze in the money for the eBay and the turret, but I'm just going to do the best I can. Yeah, positional anchor, thank you. Wow, so this guy's wasting like hella mining time. We still have these units alive. Wow, this is amazing. Gonna scan and kill the observer. So now he has no detection, and I can just kind of keep making units. So I'm not sure why his detection was so late. Yeah, I guess he was just doing a bad build, most likely. And now I'm just going to macro up, wait for my upgrades, and then go for the kill. I'm gonna be honest, I haven't played, not that I haven't played, I've played StarCraft, but I've been kind of slacking on StarCraft. And my heater broke, so it's freezing in my room, so my hands are pretty cold right now. So in this game, I'm gonna add down my 2 more barracks first. I'm gonna treat this more like a standard game. Add down 2 barracks, take the rest of my gas, and then I can go for my 3rd base when I feel, you know, it's acceptable, because I have a lot of room right here to do a timing. Based on like all the mining time that we've wasted and all the damage we dealt. But again, outright killing your opponent is not necessary at all. The main focus is to waste photon overcharges and to cause a lot of warp-ins. Because this player warped in so many units, like, he's not going to have a Colossi out even though it's 11 minutes right now. Because he spent so much time and energy warping into other units and paying attention to other things that didn't matter. So like this guy had literally like 3 stalkers. There we go. 3 stalkers versus 20 units. So you don't really need to worry like, oh, what if I don't have the micro to do something like that? If you're landing in his base, he photon overcharges, and then you pick up and you fly home. That's more than enough damage done already. Making my way downtown, I'm walking fast, I'm getting ladder points fast. What the hell is Star Strikers? That's like Star Strikers is soccer in StarCraft. I don't know what it is with all these StarCraft games right now. Yeah, exactly. Just putting the mine down causes a lot of issues for them. There's so many like versions of StarCraft that you play on, or soccer that you play online, like Rocket League or whatever. If you haven't seen the game Rocket League is a game where you're literally a race car that plays soccer. Like, if that doesn't, like, it's really fun and it looks really fun, but talk about a stupid premise for a game, like that you wouldn't expect to be fun, like playing soccer and you're a car that drives around and rams into a giant soccer ball. Okay, what do we got here? We got a random diamond this guy was, so gonna be going for the wall off because we don't know what he could be. Not gonna wall off with the barracks though. Just a depot. The depot gives us the option of continuing to wall if we feel it's necessary. Link my stream to him. Oh, that would be bad-mannered. I'll do a bit of an earlier scout. I'll do a scout with my 13th worker. I'll rally, so I'm rallying my 12th to build the gas geyser, which will build it perfectly for a Reaper expand, and then I'm going to rally the next one to his base so we can find out what he is. When you do a build like this, versus random, the way I like to do it, because you're going to be mining gas no matter what in case it's a Zerg or Terran, is if we're going to play a Zerg, we're going to Hellbat all in. If we're playing a Terran, we're going to do just like a normal 1-1-1. I'm sorry, just a Reaper expand into a 1-1-1. And if we're playing a Protoss, we're going to do a Reaper expand into a 1-1-1 with a bit of mine drop. And that's just easy. So if you worry about playing random players, like if you do one of those builds and you scout at 13, you should always know what their race is and be able to make your decisions in time. So no expansion, so we know it's not a Zerg, and it's a Terran, and we can see what he's going for. He's going for a barracks in his main right now. This guy is most likely cheesing me or just kind of bad. But he is diamond, so I'm going to go with he's cheesing me, because that's way too late for a barracks. So I'm going to get my own second barracks, and I'm going to go my own Mass Reaper to hopefully beat his Mass Reaper, which I need to be looking out for, and taking another gas right now. The only other option is he like CC firsted at one of the gold bases, but that barracks time, the only other thing it could be is he's proxy barracksing me himself. Which league are we at? We are at Silver League, but we're playing Platinums and Diamonds. Now, if my read was completely off and he's just doing some random bad strategy, I'll just go and try to kill him in a minute. But based off what I scouted, I had to do this because it looks like a proxy. And oftentimes, if your opponent is doing something dumb and you're doing the right thing, you can just take whatever units you've made and go kill them. The last build in TVP was a 12 gas. 12 gas, 13 barracks. Gas first. I'll send this Reaper to the gold. Hopefully I don't send these out and then like a bunch of Reapers walk into my base, because that would be bad, but I really have no idea what the hell he's doing. He did. He took a planetary at the gold. Okay, so that's, like I said, the only other thing he could have possibly done is take a planetary at the gold. This is really easy to stop. I'm just going to set my Reapers behind the gold and it's going to kill his SCVs. So now he has no mining, and in fact what I can do is I can leave one Reaper there and I can take the rest of my Reapers and I can go attack the main, because he can't mine. I mean, he can mine, but he'll eventually lose units. It doesn't really matter if he kills these, he's not mining with his SCVs. And he's got a tech lab on the barrack, so that's pretty bad for him because he can't be making very many units. Okay, now I'm gonna stop making Reapers and get a factory and a starport just in case he floats his buildings. Because I don't want to be in this game all night. And... oh wow, he took the other one too. I wasn't even looking at my mini-map. Wow, why would you run that way, Reapers? Ah. Yep. So I'll need siege tanks if I want to get him out of this game, because it doesn't look like he wants to leave. And I'll also need Vikings in case he flies his buildings. Damn it. God, planetaries. Oh, he has the planetary upgrade. I'm like, how the hell is it shooting that far? Literally got the planetary upgrade. What I'm actually going to do is just build Banshees because he won't have turrets. And just get some Banshees out. Yo, what up, Blast Man? I'm new at StarCraft. Should I go play Tetris or just train StarCraft? What a dumb question. Of course, you should be training StarCraft. You should be playing StarCraft right now. It's a fun game though. If you like StarCraft, you should definitely be playing StarCraft. If you like Tetris, you should probably be playing Tetris. Makes me wonder what else he's got hidden around here. Like, is this all a diversion and he's just got like hella bases everywhere? Is that what's happening right now? Okay, whenever your opponent is dead in the game, box all your workers and press this button right here, return cargo, because that will make your APM really, really high. So like, I don't need to be doing anything right now except wait for his buildings to die, so I'm gonna look like a total pro gamer by just like return cargoing my SCVs. For me, that's S. I just hold down S and my SCVs will like spam like 1,000 APM. Whew. Yeah. I hate when it gets to 5 AM. It's like you want to do something kind of, but you all... Oh my god, just got my gold promo. Nice. Nice. I feel like I've deserved this for a long time. I've been practicing, I've been watching the Day 9 dailies, and now I'm in Gold League. Okay, let's see who we got. Oh, we got the same guy. I'm not boosting anybody, just smurfing so people can learn from whatever league and troubles they face. Maybe they will see something in here and it will help them out. So again, just going to do that Reaper expand, you know, that's what we do against randoms. If we're playing a random, we Reaper expand. That's going to give us our sort of like a catch-all best options that we can have, and then we have our things we can do after we see what race he is. We are on a 2-player map. On 4-player maps, you can continue to do the Reaper expand, but there's no guarantee that you'll scout them soon enough. So if you're playing a random player on a 4-player map, it may be in your best interest just to do some type of, you know, risky thing. Maybe go for a CC first or just a gas first and do whatever you want, basically, and just try any build, because you won't know what they are, so it's better for you just to commit to something than it is to not do anything at all. Also, just a good old 1-rack expand, like old school. So we're going to rally that SCV. Going to put Spotify on during the Alt tab. Oh, there wasn't enough time. Oops. Okay. Huh. So it's a Terran. So this game we can just do an expand and go into a normal 1-1-1. We can go for a second Reaper because we saw it's a Terran, and 2 Reapers will let us do like kind of a lot of harass. Now the Polish StarCraft player Guru, maybe, is he a Zerg? I think I've played a Zerg player named Guru. Pretty sure I have. So we killed his scout that was going out. Gonna get the factory down, and then we'll just make our decisions about what to get out of the factory and starport based on what we see here. So he's only on 1 gas. He has like no SCVs. This guy's all-inning me, or he's made planetary somewhere again. He has his own Reaper. I'm gonna keep making Reapers. I'll have 2 now. Once my other one gets here, I can kill him. Yeah, I'm under the impression that there's going to be some hidden command centers this game. Are there any gold bases on this map? This guy seems to like those. Oops, that was bad for me. Okay, I'm going to hop up on the high ground here, so hopefully I can get an advantage and Reaper shots on him. I want to make sure I'm targeting the same Reaper. So boom. And I'm making Hellions and just other Reapers. This game's not going to count so much because this guy's pretty weird. Not sure what he's doing. I'm just going to keep making units and try to win. I'm gonna make Banshee back at home. Thank you for the follow. Oh, he's got another Widow Mine out, it looks like. Let's see if there's a planetary over here. Do I need to start checking everywhere for planetaries? And I don't know what else to say about this game anymore. Thank you too, Mister. Thank you for follow. Got Hellions outside this guy's base. I kind of stopped really doing stuff because I thought he would leave. I was apparently mistaken because he's not going anywhere. Okay, I can waste the Widowmine shots on these scrap units. I'm gonna trigger a Widowmine with my Reaper into the Marines. Oh, I'm not sure if it went off or not. No, it didn't. I'll trigger it with this weak one. Nope. No, don't attack the Banshee. Okay, that's good. Well, this game. Oh, I just had a really funny coaching session the other day. The dude I'm coaching he's pretty funny. It's a pretty funny guy. He was very BM to some of the other people in TeamSpeak. So, gonna go wall him in, the way he can't escape. Then I'm gonna go wall him in down here, with some planetaries. Look for the Widowmines, there they are, so gonna just stay away from those. We might have more. Wow, this guy's resilient. This guy's got hidden bases. I bet you. Bet you this boy has hidden bases. Just like last game. So here we're setting up the contain. Uh-oh, he's got these Hellions in here. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, Banshees. Oh no! Oh no! This guy. What is this problem? Build bases at your base, son. Okay, I'm gonna need an eBay to build planetary fortresses, so get into eBay timing now. Okay, that's a solid wall, so we can set up some more planetaries. Okay, gonna float these in, and we can maybe block him off right there. Almost? No, we'll just land him right here. Okay. Okay, cool. So, I mean, that came back to the beginning. So, unfortunately, we didn't get to finish our planetary fortresses, but I think when you have planetary fortresses going up in your base, it's kind of like the check mark. Checkmate. Yes, you were check marked. I will check mark you into submission. Okay, Diamond TVP. No, we're gonna go old school. We're gonna do like what Kamker's known for by very few people. Guru as a Zerg has like 5k games in every season. He's my friend and playing 12 hours a day. Damn, is he trying to break into WCS or something? This build, I swear, like 2-Rex is the best build versus Protoss. A lot of people don't do it right, and a lot of people don't realize how strong it is, but I 2 seasons ago on NAGM, I had an account with like an 80% win rate in TVP, and I 2-Rex'd every single game in every matchup. And the high, or not versus Terran I did like Proxy Marauder and Proxy Reapers, but 2-Rex is so ridiculously strong versus Protoss if you do it correctly. There is a little bit of luck involved. There's like some things that, like if the Protoss just makes like, you know, an 11 gate and is chronoing out units to attack you and then they see you 2-Rex, sure they can hold it off easy, but the micro is not terribly difficult. It's just kind of like precision-based micro. Sort of like you just have to do it right, can't have any mess-ups, and as long as that happens, you're in a good position. Whoops. I almost built a 10 racks. We're not that cheesy. We are doing the respectable 11 racks. And we're loading our command center up. Such a good teacher. Is PF part of the build order? Yo, the thing about StarCraft is anything is a build order in StarCraft. Like, there are optimal ways to play StarCraft. Like, if you're learning to be, like, good in the meta and, like, be a good player that will be high on ladder, okay, that's pretty strange. There's builds you can do, but there's also one of the cool things about StarCraft is you can do any build you want to at any time. There's an infinite number of things you could try out and do. Sure, you're not going to most likely get like Grandmaster and be a pro gamer or whatever with it, but at the end of the day, it's about having fun and bopping other kids. You can bop other kids doing a lot of things. Yeah, so that was pretty strange that this guy scouted that. I can't imagine him getting 2-Rex'd that often in Diamond League, but I will overlook it, and I will build a command center on the low ground. So hopefully he doesn't chrono boost out. The thing is, we'll know if he's a hacker if he went for an 11 gate in addition with scouting around his base, because you never scout around your base if you're going for an 11 gate. However, if he's just doing a 13 gate, it's a thing to do. It's a little strange that a Diamond player did it, but by no means he's a hacker. So I'm going to be doing a 3-Racks type of timing off here. Off of my CC first. Thank you very much. Can send that back to Scout. Worried about a proxy factory? I don't know any proxy factories that start building when barracks build, though, to be fair. Oh, he's coming across with the mothership core. This guy didn't have that early of a gateway, kind of just a normal gateway. That's what it's looking like. Let's just at least verify if he's expanded or not. He has not expanded. Very light expand. We need to build a lot of bunkers and units. Could be any number of things, including a proxy oracle at this point. We really don't know because I have no scouting information. The only thing I do know is it was not an expand.
Yeah.
Oh wow, thank you. Oh, no message. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. If you snipe me, I will report you to Blizzard. So you might want to think twice about that, because teach this guy to get all up in my face. I need to build up. Yeah, it's the Oracle. Ah! Yeah. Luckily I have this bunker, so I can like hide in my bunker. And it's kind of like a turret in the sense that all my units are going to run over and cower by it. So he's used the last of his energy, so I can go get up on that. I don't know why I threw my Marines right there. Yeah, so no expand. So we're going to commit to turrets and we're going to commit to a lot of bunkers. I want to stay on the low ground if possible. So as soon as my turret in the main is finished, I'm going to move everything to the low ground. And I may have to build just like mass bunkers down there. I don't have a Reaper, so checking in multiple times to see if he has an expansion building is also going to be really important. I don't want to waste scans on it if I don't have to though, so I'm going to try to send an SCV out. Oh wow, he's got he's got stalkers already. That's okay, I can still take the low grounds. He'll lose all those if he's not careful. And now I can start my... I want to target down the oracles first because they're going to be doing the majority of the damage. Okay, so we killed everything. And so staying unsupply blocked in a time like this and making sure we have constant production is really what's going to save us. A lot of players, it's like they have really good macro and production, but they kind of like lose focus and get supply blocked. And kids will be supply blocked and still dropping mules. If you're supply blocked and you're getting all in, you 100% have to be dropping your supply call downs. Gonna build 1 or 2 more bunkers. Shouldn't be that quick within... Okay, nope, no more bunkers. I was gonna say, if somebody goes for 2 Void Rays, there's a lot lower chance that it's going to be something with, or 2 Oracles, it's gonna be a low chance of Void Rays. If you see more than 1 Oracle, but if there's only 1 Oracle, definitely they could be massing up Void Rays to try and break you at the front. So I'll do a push out with these Marines, and then I can do another timing with more barracks. Because I have a lot of money and my gas was delayed for a long time. But the thing is, I can walk across the map here because at worst I'll force a photon overcharge, and at best I can win the game. There's nothing he can really do to me back at home. That's just a mild inconvenience, but not going to get him back in the game. And if he's not careful, he may lose the Oracle or not pay attention at home. I'm not going to attack, I'm going to walk up into the main, because if he doesn't have... Oh, look at this. Wow, perfect. Just what I needed. This guy's not that bad. This guy might be like a Smurf account, but he's definitely made some mistakes that he didn't need to. Like losing this if he lost that. Wow, that was close. You have to be good with every race versus Protoss. Well, if you're good with every race and you're not good with Protoss, you're probably good at Protoss, let's be honest. If you're good at Terran and or Zerg, we'll do alright with Protoss. I have a lot of friends who, they're like, I don't get it. They're like, what am I doing wrong? They're like, I try so hard with my main race and then, you know, I get I queue up as Protoss and I don't even know how to play and I get wins. Throwing down a lot of barracks. Hopefully just to illustrate the point that through really good production you can always kill your opponent. Like I don't even think I'm gonna build medevacs. Just gonna build only bio. Which means I don't need that gas actually, but I made it already, so it's too late. So he had an Immortal out when my first push got there, which means he's obviously going Robotech, so he could have a Colossi pretty soon. I'm gonna be looking to trade with him like very immediately. Basically, as soon as my, you know, upgrades are done. Oh, that's my stim. If that goes down, I can lose. pretty much win. Just gonna keep making units. I'm gonna focus on Marauder since he's got the Colossi out. I don't have slow, but he really shouldn't be able to make anything aside from another couple units. And just by rallying in, should have a pretty easy win. Cool. Alright, now let's check that donation, see who's going to be sniping me. Twitch alerts. Can't be doing it, Jiggy. Doing it, Jiggy went to bed already. I play with health bars on damage. Actually, most Koreans do that I've watched play. Almost every Korean that I've ever watched plays with that. The exceptions that I can think of are like 4GG, and it just makes less clutter because, you know, you could have a giant health bar telling you that your unit's full on health, or you could just see your unit is full on health. And if a unit's taken just a little bit of damage, he might look like he's full health, and you might confuse that unit with other full health units. So it's really easy to just be like, oh, Kilimanjaro, you're not going to snipe me on ladder, mate. So it's just really easy to tell which units are full on health and which units have taken a little bit of damage. Innovation, Flash, Supernova, all of their. I'm subscribed to their streams, and they all play with damage health bars. You don't have to. I mean, there are players who don't. Like, I'm pretty sure 4GG plays with health bars on. It just looks very cluttery to me. Is this Kilimanjaro? Okay, now I gotta now there's ego involved in this game, because if I lose this game, he'll be like, "Hi, I beat you." So I'm gonna make sure to go pretty try hard. That's a good stream sniper. He's been on Team Ascension for a week, and he's already can stream snipe people. That's pretty impressive. We should give this man a hand. You will donate $500. I would not like you to donate $500. You can see in if you watch Pro League, because I watch all the Pro Leagues, when it goes to the players cams, like Maru uses damaged health bars, Innovation used damaged health bars. Innovation even used damaged health bars in his last streams that he did like a year and a half, 2 years ago, like on YouTube. He had damaged health bars on. Okay, so I'm going for a gas first Reaper. This was an 11 gas. Nah, man, I don't do that stuff. That ain't me. About Bigfoot? I certainly don't care about Bigfoot. Just be a gorilla thing. I mean, I could link you VODs with health bars on. I can't feel like I'm imagining this. I'm pretty sure most of them don't. That I've seen in, because I didn't even know about the setting until I saw, maybe it was like a FP VOD of Maru playing without him on, and I was like, oh my, I'm like, where's his health bars? I was thinking it's pretty dumb to play with health bars completely off. Oh wow, this guy's gonna cheese me hard. He should only have 1 gas. Yep, I'm about to get cheesed. I'm going to stay back with the rest of my units. I'm going to go straight for a Banshee, and I'm going to build non-stop Marines and Hellions. I don't need to worry about expanding because like a medevac and a bunch of units are going to fly into my base. You can tell it's that type of build and that it's going to be an all-in because there was only 1 gas. This is one instance where we want to get the Banshee before we get the Cloak. Normally you get the Cloak first so that it finishes as your Banshee is flying up to your opponent's base. But obviously we're getting the Banshee here first because we need the Banshee as a unit to help